Hello friends, good morning. VVSM Academy Creations, School of Arts and Science, subject General Knowledge, topic Ancient Indian Navigation by Veerabhadraya Demaya. Ancient Indian marine science tells about the Persian Gulf, Mediterranean Sea, West African Sea, Red Sea, East African Sea, China Sea and Indian Ocean, which are the important 7 oceans on the planet Earth. Ancient Vedic culture used ships navigation processes. Now vast was its sea trade and describes its sea power and navy, and describes the quality and technology of the ships they made. India had greatly advanced in ancient marine science. Indian ships were 10 times larger than European ships. This was told by the great sailor on those days, Vascodagama himself. He writes in his logbook that Indian ships were 10 times larger than European ships. You see, my dear friends, these are the Indian ships which are very larger when compared to the European ships. Vascodagama ship and Christopher Coulumbus, another important voyager on those days. Ancient Indian marine science, periplus of the Erythraean Sea. 1st century after the death of Christ. A Roman Empire, sea routes. These are the Mediterranean Sea, very important place, Roman Empire. Rome cannot build in a day, my dear friends. This is the Roman Empire from where the marine navigation starts on those days. And further it has reached the Indian marine science. You see the Western Ghats of the Arabian Sea from Gujarat to Quilon. So this is a very important ancient Indian marine science, tells about the navigation on those days. Ancient Indian marine science, how the ships were built on those days. Ancient Indian marine science, after the British invasion of India, was killed by the British to protect its own home business, obviously of an inferior quality. Lothal's topography and geology reflects its maritime past. Gujarat, Saurashtra, Gulf of Combat. Proximity of the Gulf of Combat allowed direct access to sea routes. To the northwest of Lothal, 2400 BC, lies the Kutch Peninsula. Bijapur, Vijayanagar, Cranganore, Quilon, Cochin, Calicut, Cananore, Santa Maria, Angadiva are the important coastal sea centers, trade centers on those days, including Goa in the Arabian Sea. Chola dynasty 1279 reached the peak of its influence and power during the medieval period. The emperors Raja Chola reigned 985 to 1014, and Rajendra Chola I regime 1012 to 1044 extended the Chola kingdom beyond the traditional limits. At its peak, the Chola Empire stretched from the island of Sri Lanka in the south of Godavari basin in the north, the kingdoms along the east coast of India up to the river Ganges acknowledged Chola suzerainty. Chola navies invaded and conquered Srivijaya, and Srivijaya was the largest empire in maritime Southeast Asia. Goods and ideas from India began to play a major role in the Indianization of the wider world from this period. See, my dear friends, Chola dynasty 2000 to 1279 AD, Chola kingdom, Jain Goda, Chola Mandalam, Kanchipuram, Chola Mandalam, Gangaikonda Cholapuram, Rajaraja Pandya Mandalam, etc. These are the important cities on those days, Chola dynasty. Another important thing, the Chola territories during Rajendra Chola I. Trade routes. These are the trade routes. Starting from Gangaikonda Cholapuram, Indian Oceans, Pennai, and this is the Sea Vijaya, and up to these are the important places. Now Chola territory and Chola influence. The first Western civilization known to have developed the art of navigation at sea were the Phoenicians about 4,000 years ago. Phoenician sailors accomplished navigation by using primitive charts and observations of the sun and stars to determine the directions. Stars as calendars. It seems that the constellations in the east rise a little earlier each evening. This means that the seasons are changing and we are seeing different constellations. An example is in the northern hemisphere, Orion is high in the sky during the winter and Scorpio can only be seen during the summer. These are the indications of sea voyage on those days, my dear friends. This is stars as a calendars. Lisboa, Canarias, Cabo Verde, sailing, and from these are the African surroundings. This figure illustrations the path of Vascodagama, the coast of India, black, the first to go around Africa. Afonso de Pavia, blue region, are also shown with common routes marked in the green. It's a very important voyages. Voyages of Ferro de Covilla. This is the orange up to Goa. Well, friends, this is the social gathering of the August House on those days of Portuguese nobleman Vasco da Gama, 1460 to 1524, sailed from Lisbon in 1497 on a mission to reach India and open a sea route from Europe to the east. After sailing down the western coast of Africa and rounding the Cape of Good Hope, his expedition made numerous stops in Africa before reaching the trading post of Calicut, India in May 1498. By the time Vasco da Gama returned from the first voyage to India in 1499, he had spent more than 2 years away from home, including 300 days at sea, and had travelled some 24,000 miles. Only 54 of his original crew of 170 men returned with him. The majority, including da Gama's brother Paolo, had died of illness such as scurvy. Thank you. Like, share and subscribe. This is the voice of BVSM Academy, Creations School.